Hey guys, Chris here. I want to do a video today talking about why you should stop drinking alcohol. To cut alcohol completely out of life was one of the best things I ever did. Over the last 10 years, I've gradually cut it out to the point where I abstained 2 or 3 years ago, went back to it, went away, come back to it, and I just won't go back to it again, basically. Because when I sort of drink now, I sort of feel that it just vibrationally, it just doesn't connect, it just doesn't resonate. I actually feel like I'm losing part of myself, that I'm stuck in my head, and I'm sort of, merging into other people who are drinking as well and sort of becoming on a similar frequency with them. And just to point out the common myths in terms of making you feel more confident. And of course, like when I learned this in university, it was great when I first had it, because it started to allow me to become more confident, and it's realizing what it's actually doing. What I believe is it is activating whatever's in the subconscious, and sort of bringing that out. So you might feel like you're more confident, but if you have a view of, to be confident, I have to be loud, or I have to be like this, how you see other confident people around you, what's your sort of shadow around drinking alcohol. If other people are quite loud, quite aggressive, what's likely is you'll start to sort of inhabit parts of those patterns as well, without actually doing what is general and what's authentic. So what I believe as well from a spiritual point of view happens with alcohol is that you start to lose part of yourself, that the soul starts to leave the body in certain parts, and through having certain entities inside you, what this will do is it will be like food for thought for those entities, where those negative thought forms can become stronger. But for a lot of people, it won't be like this, because they'll be focusing on other things. Like if they feel like they just can't go up to someone and speak to them, it will allow them to have the courage to go up to someone and speak to them, right? But what that's doing is you're relying again on the drug, so the drug is kind of feeding on that, or the entity in you is feeding on that. So when I say entity, what I mean is there is like, a negative force inside you, which is relying on the alcohol. That's what's feeding on the alcohol. So I remember I read about this, and it just resonated with me, because I really believed from a spiritual point of view, it was a negative consequence, because the more I meditated, the more I sort of worked on the self-improvement, alcohol just had no appeal to me whatsoever, because I started to learn that I could become more confident by just going out there sober and going up to, say, a girl that I liked, or having the courage to do something else, which you would normally say I need Dutch courage for, or I need to drink to relax. You learn how to relax without drinking. I can enjoy myself, I can enjoy watching the football, I can enjoy bowling or whatever. But what you might find is, if you don't drink, maybe you don't enjoy the football, or maybe you appreciate something different about the bowling. So you're improving more about yourself, your confidence. Maybe the people you're around, they might be drinking, and the only reason you're with them is because they're drinking and they're talking. Alcohol is, for me, is negative. It's negative energy, because the vibration is quite low. And you might think it's good because it's allowing you to relax and all this stuff, but that's exactly what the drug is telling you, in a way. It's saying, well, when you have me, you can relax, but you can't relax any other time. And that's what drugs do. When you're on the drug, you feel great. When you're not. But even when you're on the drug, at least for me, from meditating through being very mindful, is I managed to get to better states, without that drug. So once I went back on it, I felt I only was able to get to a certain vibration level, and I found it very negative, very disempowering, just in terms of you would be in a pub and you would be complaining about stuff, or talking about politics or football or whatever, stuff that's, in a way is maybe you're not properly in your power, because you're not focusing on, and everyone will be saying, oh, I want to do this in life, but then they would never actually do it. But they sort of had some sort of power by saying what they wanted to do. So what is happening with alcohol then, and in terms of when people say they're more confident, they're not confident, because I will see drunk people, and I can see it when you're sober and you stop drinking. You can see it a mile off. You can see when someone's had some drinks and it comes out quite negative. So they might appear very confident and life and soul of the party, but they'll be being very loud and maybe starting to put other people down. When I'm around drunk people, I can find myself very uncomfortable, because I don't know when they're going to turn on me and sort of maybe put me down, disrespect me. And because in their belief system, in their subconscious, they believe to be confident, you have to be, or to be powerful, you have to put other people down around you. So the alcohol then just allows you to put that out. But if you're someone like myself, who believes that true power comes from within and is about being equal to other people and empowering other people, then that's how it's going to come out. But of course, maybe I've got some stuff deeper in my subconscious which supports the other side, but the alcohol is not really going to, if I don't drink alcohol, it's not really going to bring that out of me. And people are being quite loud, or you might just see a guy constantly going up to women and chatting to them in a bar, but other women are probably going to be drinking as well. If a drunk guy goes up to a woman on the street or in a coffee shop, it's just going to look embarrassing, right? Because someone's intoxicated. And that's how it is. And with sexuality as well, of course, like if you're going out to nightclubs and you're meeting people, we're sort of told this is the way we're going to meet people. Very few people actually meet each other in bars and these sort of things these days. Anyway, but if sexuality you believe to be like this, I have to be like that. You would see a bad boy being a certain way. When you're drinking alcohol, you're then sort of becoming that person as well, because that negative energy, that negative entity is just relating to your subconscious. So, and you might want to drink alcohol on a date. You might go back and you might get laid and all this sort of stuff, but it's not bringing, the core confidence through. You probably wouldn't do stuff you wouldn't do sober. So, and that's the way you want to be. You want to live your life like you would live it sober, free from alcohol, free from addiction. You would feel free. And it's the negative effects it's having on your life. That's why the entity inside you feeds on this, because the negative entity, in a way, is destroying you. Alcohol does destroy the body. It's poison for the body. That from hangovers. That even from, if you've not drank for a while, you have one drink, you feel very tired the next day. You don't achieve much. It takes your power away, because you might feel power and great on a Friday night, but then Saturday, I assure you, you're probably not doing much. So, you're losing your power. You're getting something, but then you're losing it. And what you're getting is not really what you deep down want. And you're attacking yourself, you're destroying your liver or whatever you're doing. And then it leads to other things, other addictions. You might then smoke more, eat more junk food. So from a spiritual point of view, what's actually happening is, your soul, in a way, is starting to leave your body. And when parts of your soul leave your body, it brings in more negative energies, negative entities, or the entities that you already have within you, like I mentioned, just become more highlighted. So the negativity can control. But if you're not a very conscious person, or done this kind of work, or into the spirituality, you won't notice it, because you're just getting what you think you want and what your desires are. But as I notice now, if I go on it, I can be quite self-destructive. So that's probably why I wouldn't do that. It brings out anger, but that anger is, and fighting and this sort of stuff, violence, but it's not integrated well. You've not got in touch with your inner anger or your violence, or channeled it in the right way. And that's why alcohol brings it out the wrong way. So the fact that this is highly available everywhere is quite scary. I'm in Bali at the moment, and it Ubered, and there is like nobody drinking really. But when I go out on a night out in London, I think sometimes the more people who are drinking and they're sort of falling over in the street is more a sign of how darker forces are sort of more in those kind of areas. I've sort of traveled around a lot now, and as coming from the UK, I'm finding the UK more like one of the hardest places to live, and where alcohol is more accessible. But now I think, yeah, it just results on people, individual people. And if you want to stop drinking and being around this kind of energy, then it's good to not go around where people are drinking as well. And I recommend just cutting it out for a while. Like I said, you might think it's giving you more confidence, but it's not in the long term. And what can be better than just sort of quitting and leaving it and focusing on yourself and to grow your confidence naturally. And then imagine you then say no to alcohol, like you